students, welcome to our physics class. Our chapter name is Stars and the Solar System. In the last few class we discussed about this chapter and basically discussed about the star and the things. And now we are on the topic solar system. In the last class we introduced this topic and named which are the planets are there present in our solar system. Which are the planets? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. These are the planets. We already studied the order of this and the names that we discussed in our last class. Now we are going to study in detail about each and every planet, and also we will discuss about the sun. So first of all we are going to discuss about our sun in detail. Detail means not too much of details are there. Now we are going to study some of the things about these all planets and suns. What is this sun? Is it a planet? No, the sun is a type of star. What is the peculiarity of star? Star produce light themselves. Oh, it emit light. Emit light themselves. It emit light themselves. And we know sun is the nearest star to earth. Nearest star to earth. And this sun continuously emit light and heat. The sun continuously emit light and heat. So actually sun is the highest source of energy. Not only for the earth but also for all the planets in our solar system. So we can say sun is the highest energy source. Highest energy source is our sun. And it is the source of energy means both we are talking about the light energy is there and also the heat energy is there. And it is the nearest star to earth and this emit continuously light. And this is a star. These are the points about this. The next is our planets. We are going to discuss each and every one. This sun is this and we already discussed about the distance from the earth and the sun. All the things we already discussed. So it's enough for the sun. The next is the planets. First we are going to discuss generally what is this planet and then we will discuss each planet in detail. So first we are going to discuss in generally what is this planet or planets. What is this planet? Planet, it actually looks like star. Looks like star. Look like star means it is not star actually. That means when we look the planet, we feels like it is producing light. But the thing is that planets never produce light themselves. That is, it do not emit light themselves. That means it do not produce light themselves. Who? Planets. how these planets are having light. It is having some sort of lights are there. Some of the planets are very bright, some are dim, some are having red color, some are in green color. Like different planets are having different lights are there. And where this light is coming from? Actually, the light is coming from the sun. That is, here we have the sun. And we know all the planets are revolving around the sun. So, suppose this is our earth and a person is standing here at the surface of earth, and how we are seeing this planet that we feel it like having light. The thing is very simple. The sunlight is hitting on this planet, is reflecting. That is the reflection of the light is actually we feels like the light is coming from the planet. But actually the light is not coming from the planet, it is from sun. The sunlight is reflected. Sunlight is reflected from the surface of the planet. And according to the surface, that means the color of the surface, we feel different color. For the earth, it is having water and the greenish things are all. So we feel it like the green and blue color for the earth. And when we talk about the moon, we also discussed that moon is not producing light themselves. It is the light that reflects from the sun. The same case is for the planet. So we said that at the effect it also feels like the planet is producing light, but actually it is from the sun. Now the question is this: how we can distinguish or identify is it star or planet? How we can identify? We can identify by the stars twinkle. Stars twinkle. What is this twinkle? Twinkle means brighter, dim. Brighter, dim. Like what? The stars are getting twinkled. Actually, not the twinkle is there. It is an actual apparent field occurs there, and you will study in detail in your 10th standard. Now, you can study it as stars twinkle, but planets do not. Planets do not. The reason is this: these stars lights are coming from very far apart and different layers are there in our atmosphere, and then this light is coming through each and every layer. They have some sort of refractions and all that you will study later. Now just understand that stars are having twinkle and these planets do not. So we can identify the stars and planets by this. And one more thing is the planets have position change. Planets have position change. We said in our last class that stars are not moving from one place to another. We feel like the stars are moving. The reason is this: our earth is moving and we are also moving with the earth, and we feels like the stars are moving. But actually who is moving? Actually moving is our earth, and we are on the earth and so we are moving, and we feels like the stars are moving. But what about the planets? Planets are moving but the stars are not. This is the second difference between the stars and the planet. The first one is this: it will twinkle. The stars twinkle but planets do not, and the planets have position change but the stars do not have original position change. These are the things. Now we want to study some of the terms like orbit, period of revolution, period of rotation, like that. So first we are going to study the orbit. This is all about the planet itself. Orbit. What is this orbit? The planets have definite path. Planets have definite path around sun. This path is called orbit. So the thing is this, we know our sun is here and the planets are revolving around the sun. So what is this orbit is? These planets are moving in a definite path. That means they are not moving in as much as it like. It is having a definite path, and that definite path is what? Orbit. That means where the planet is moving through, that line is what? The orbit. So we can define it as planets have definite path around sun. That is what? Orbit. I think it's clear. Now we want to study about the period of revolution. Period of revolution. Period of revolution. What is this period of revolution means? Period means a particular time. The meaning of this period means the time. So, this period of revolution is this. The time taken by planet to complete one revolution is called period of revolution. That means the time taken by planet to complete one revolution. That is, here we have the sun, and we said that all planets are revolving in a particular orbit or path. So, one complete revolution means the point is A, this planet is moving from this and reach here. Then we can say it as it completed one full revolution. So, the time taken to complete this full revolution is what? Period of revolution. Very simple. That is, the time taken by the planet to complete one revolution is what? Period of revolution. I hope it's clear, and I will show you one thing. We know that the sun is at the center and different planets are there present at different length. That means some are near, other are little far, some are very far. Like they are having a different length from the sun. So, here one planet is there, another planet, another planet, another planet. And you can observe one thing. When the distance from the sun is getting increased, then the period of revolution is also getting increased. That means for the first planet, the distance is less. So, its period of revolution is also less. And when it is increasing, then it needs to move more distance, and also it takes more time for completing the revolution. And what about the next one? Here again the distance is more and it takes more time to complete this revolution, and the same thing is for the last one. So we can say when the distance from the sun is getting increased for the planets, then the period of revolution, that means the time taken to complete the revolution is also getting increased. That is the thing, you just want to put it in your mind. So the next thing is this. We said that every planet is revolving around the sun. Now at the same time, these planets are rotating its own axis. These planets are rotating its own axis like a top. So now we want to study about the period of rotation. Period of rotation of planet. Period of rotation. So what is this period of rotation? The same thing, the only difference is for the revolution and rotation. So the period of rotation is the time taken by a planet by a planet. The time taken by a planet to complete one rotation is called period of rotation. What we said about the period of revolution is the time taken by the planet to complete one revolution. Here it is only difference is about the rotation. The time taken by a planet to complete one rotation is what? Period of revolution. So this is all about this period of revolution, period of rotation and about the planets. Now we are going to study about the satellites. Some of the planets are having satellites. That is, for the Earth, the Moon is its satellite. For the Earth, Moon is revolving around the Earth. So, we know this Moon is the satellite for our Earth. And how we can define this satellite? What is the thing? The thing is very simple, that any celestial body revolving around another celestial body is called satellite. So, considering this Earth and Moon, it is very simple that any celestial body, this Moon is one celestial body, revolving around another celestial body means this Moon is revolving around another celestial body is what? Earth. So, we can say any celestial body revolving around another celestial body is satellite. The example for the Earth and Moon is familiar to us. But what we defined about the celestial body? The Sun is a celestial body. Planets are celestial body. Stars are celestial body. So, one thing you have to look. The Sun is a star and we define it as what? Celestial body. And also you know that this Earth is also celestial body. By considering the definition, any celestial body revolving around another celestial body means, here this Earth is a celestial body which is revolving around another celestial body. So we can say this Earth is also satellite. Earth is also satellite for whom? For the Sun. Earth is satellite to Sun. But generally we are calling it as planet. Just put it in your mind. It's just mentioned in your textbook. So, by the definition of the satellite, this Earth is satellite for Sun. But as it name, we call it as planet. So, for our Earth, Moon is the satellite. There are different types of satellites are there. Now I am going to classify this into a particular type. So that classification is like this. Two types of satellites are there. Natural satellite and artificial satellite. Natural satellite and artificial satellite. The Moon is the example for natural satellite. So, or the Earth is the natural satellite for our Sun. So, the thing that is not made by the human beings are what? Natural satellites. Originally it's there. But you know, there are having another satellites which is made by human beings. That means man-made. And that is called what? Artificial satellites. Some of the examples for this artificial satellite is the Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, etc. So just put it in your mind the names. So the natural satellite is the satellite which is not made by human beings or not made by man, and these artificial satellites are made by human beings, and it is for different purpose, for the climate identification, for the network, or like that. Different purposes are there, and we will discuss it in later in your chapter. There is having the topic there. Now we are going to the further topics. That means we started from the planet. So we want to study these planets in detail. Which is the first planet there present near to the sun? First we studied about the sun. Then which is the nearest planet to the sun? That we are going to study, and that is Mercury. This is the nearest planet present to the sun. Nearest planet present to the sun. And actually this is very small. We can say this is the smallest planet. This is the smallest planet in our solar system. The next is this. It is difficult to observe because it is very near to the sun, and because of that it is very difficult to observe. And we can observe this before sunrise, just before sunrise, and just after sunset. So this Mercury we can see just before sunrise and just after sunset at that time. And it is difficult to observe, and we need some very powerful telescopes and all. So this is the thing. And one more point is here. For the Mercury, it is having no satellites are there for this. That means no satellites of its own. So these are the points for the Mercury. And this Mercury is also called Buddh. Buddha, that is the Buddh. So this Mercury is also called Buddh. It is the nearest planet to the sun. The next is, it is the smallest planet, and we can see this just before the sunrise and just after sunset. And also it is having no satellites of its own. These are the points about the Mercury. Now we are moving to the next planet, and that is Venus. Venus. This Venus is also called Shukra. We said it as Shukran. So it is Shukra, another name. This is the nearest planet to Earth. This is the first nearest planet to, this is the nearest planet to Earth. And also one thing, this is the brightest planet in the night sky. In the night sky. This is the brightest planet in the night sky. And one thing is this sometimes appears in eastern sky before sunrise, and sometimes appear in western sky after sunset. That is, this Venus can be observed at the sky sometimes before sunrise, and this Venus can be observed sometimes at the western sky after sunset. And the one thing is this, we said that it is there at the morning is there and at the evening we can see this, and we said that this is the brightest planet. Because of this reason we are calling this as morning or evening star. This is the morning or evening star. We are just calling it like that. This Venus is not a star, it is planet. But because it is at the morning is the and the evening we can only see that. So we call it as morning or evening star. Only the name because it is very bright. So we studied the points are it is the nearest planet to Earth. Then we said that it is the brightest planet in our night sky. Then said that sometimes we can see this at the eastern sky before sunrise, and we can see this western sky after sunset. And also we call this Venus as morning or evening star. I hope these points are clear. The next point is about the satellite. For this Venus, it is having no moon. We can also say this satellite as moon. Another name of the satellite is moon. So we can say Venus has no moon or satellite of its own. There may have the artificial satellites other. So for the Venus has no moon or satellite of its own. It is having no self-satellite therefore the Venus. And the next point is that is one of the peculiarity of the Venus, where the rotation of the Venus, is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? Actually, our Venus is rotating from east to west. Where our Earth is rotating from? Our Earth is rotating from west to east for the Earth, and for the Venus it is reverse of this. That means this west to east means the clockwise rotation. Clockwise rotation means the rotation like the handle or the needle of the clock. And this Venus is rotating or revolving anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means opposite to the needle of the clock. That is the direction. So we can say don't worry about the clockwise and anti-clockwise. Just avoid this. Focus here that Venus is rotating from east to west. That is actually opposite to the revolution of our Earth. Just put it in your mind. That is about the Venus. So it is over for the Venus. We said all the things about the Venus. And this Venus is having no moon or satellite of its own, and the rotation or the revolution for this Venus is from east to west. The next is our Earth. The next is our Earth. And the another name is this Prithvi. Prithvi, Earth. What is the first point for the Earth? It is the only planet. It is the only planet in solar system which life exists. Actually, we can say it as known to life exists. Means within our knowledge, only for the Earth having life exists. We don't know have any planet having life or anything. So within our current knowledge, we can say it as the only planet which life exists is what? Earth. And what is the reason? Why here the life exists and for the other planets there no life is there? The reason is very simple. Here the environment is very favorable. Environment is very favorable for having life or for existing life. So what is this favorable environmental conditions? What it includes? It includes right temperature. Right temperature. That means for the planets which is very near to the sun like the Mercury, Venus, they are having very high temperature. And the other planets far to the sun is very cold. So we can say this earth is at a proper distance and this earth is having proper temperature maintenance and that is suitable for the living beings. So we can say the right temperature is there in earth. Not so hot, not so cold. That means moderate temperature. That we can survive that temperature. That is the meaning of this. And then next is the presence of water. Presence of water. Here water is available. Some of the planets there is having no water present and in some planets they have water but they are in the form of the gaseous form, or in some planets they have no water, there is having some sort of acids and all. So we can say in earth it is favorable to have water and we have plenty of water. So for the existence of life, water is one of the important factor need there. The next is the suitable atmosphere. Suitable atmosphere. This suitable atmosphere means the proper atmosphere needed for the life. The next is the blanket of ozone. Blanket of ozone. We know if there is no ozone layer, what happens? The UV radiations from the sun will attack and it causes the cancer and some sort of diseases like that. So we can say our earth is the only planet which is known to be life exists. And the environment is very favorable and that is the reason for the existence of life here. Which are the favorable environmental conditions? It includes right temperature, then the presence of water, suitable atmosphere and also the blanket of ozone, the presence of ozone. These are the points why the earth is having life or the existence of life on earth. Now we are moving to the next point. When we are looking from the space, what is the color of our earth? When we are looking from space, the color of earth is nothing but the blue-green. Blue-green color. And generally when we are drawing this earth, we are giving blue and green for the earth. What is the reason? The reason is very simple. I already said that the planet is having the color from the reflection of the sunlight. So, what is there in the surface of our earth? In our earth's surface, we have land is there and also we have water. So, the light which is getting reflect from the water and the land is having the color blue-green. That is why we are seeing this earth in the blue-green color. That is about the color. Just put it in your mind that the reflection of sun from the water and the land at the surface of earth is the reason for the bluish green color or blue-green color when we are observing this earth from the space. That is about the color. The next point is this. When we talk about the planets, we said that they are revolving around the sun. That is okay. And then we said that all the planets are rotating its own axis. But for the earth, it is having something different. It is rotating, it's okay, but having generally some of the planets are rotating its own axis perpendicular. That means this line or the axis is straight. But for the earth, the axis is not perpendicular. It is having little tilt. That means a slight tilt is there, and that is towards the eastern side. So we can say earth is tilted. Earth is tilted towards east. That means our earth is having small tilt or small tilting of the side. That means it is having small variation in the axis or it is having small change. So we can say when we are talking about the earth, its axis is not perpendicular and its axis is like this. A small position change is there for the axis, and because of this reason we have climate change. Because of this reason we have climate change. Because of this reason, this earth is having climate change. Because of what? Because of the tilt towards the eastern side. So, just remember, our earth is not perpendicular with the axis, it is little tilt. Only the thing is that. And that is responsible for the climate change that we are having in our earth. We have rainy season is there, summer season is there, like that. So, that is all about this. And what about the satellite of the earth? We know which is the satellite of our earth. The satellite of our earth is moon. And earth is having only one satellite, and that is moon. So these are the points about the earth. Very simple points. You want to remember this. And next we are moving to the next planet, and that is Mars. Mars. The another name of Mars is Mangal. The satellite we launched is the Mangalyaan is for this Mars. So Mangal, Mars. And this is the next near planet to Earth. So this is the next near planet to Earth. So that is the Mars, and it is slightly reddish in color. Actually the color is because of the property of the soil present in the Mars. So this Mars is slightly reddish in color. So we call this Mars as red planet. We call this Mars as red planet. And next point is about the satellite. How many satellites are there present for the Mars? For the Mars, it is having two small natural satellites. For the Mars, it is having two small natural satellites. In all the sessions, we are talking about the natural satellites and not talking about the artificial satellites. So, this is the next near planet to the Earth, first point. Then we said that it is slightly reddish in color, and because of that we call it as red planet. And for this Mars, it is having two small natural satellites, and its another name is Mangal. This is all about the Mars. Next we want to discuss about the Jupiter. Jupiter. So, this Jupiter is the largest planet. This is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. And how much is its size? How we can say? The size is around 1300 times bigger than Earth. So we can say this Jupiter is 1300 times bigger than Earth. And when we are saying about the mass, this mass is not our mass planet. This mass is the comparison of the weight and all. No, that mass. The matter content in the thing. So the mass of the Jupiter is 318 times more than Earth. So these are the comparison of the size of the Jupiter. What is that? It is the largest planet and the size is this. It is approximately 1300 times bigger than the size of Earth and the mass is 318 times more than that of Earth. This Jupiter is rotating very fast. It is rotating very fast. It is rotating very fast. And this Jupiter is having large number of satellites. Large number of satellites. Actually, it is having 79 moons. 79 moons. For our Earth, it is having only one moon. But for the Jupiter, it is having 79 moons and within this, 4 of them are very large. 4 of them are very large. So, you want to remember, this Jupiter is the largest planet and it is very fast rotating planet and also it have large number of satellites. Around 79 moons are there present and 4 of them are very large. And the another point for this Jupiter is this. It is having faint rings present. It is having faint rings. Faint rings present. What is this faint ring? That means when we are drawing the planets or satellites like that, we draw it like that. Some sort of rings are there present. No. That is actually what? The faint rings. Or simply rings. But the thing is for the Jupiter that is very faint. It is very light. So we can say for the Jupiter it is having rings but it is very faint. Faint rings are present for the Jupiter. That means a light ring is there present for the surface of the Jupiter. And so these all are about the Jupiter. And the next is what? Saturn and all. And we will discuss it in our next class. So what we discussed today? We discussed about the solar system. First discussed about the sun. Then we discussed about Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars and Jupiter. These are the things we basically discussed today and in the next class we will discuss the further planets and the further topic. It's enough for today. You want to read your textbook 3-4 times and we will meet in next class. Thank you.